Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're tearing into a massive 2026 smartphone release. We're taking the incredibly dense, official spec sheet of the brand new Tecno Pova 8 Pro 5G and translating it into a real-world tech showcase. If you've been wondering what a true spec monster looks like this year, you are in the exact right place.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our roadmap today covers design and display innovations, system hardware, camera and audio, battery and connectivity, and finally, what you get in the retail box. Starting right off with Section 1, Design and Display Innovations.
Despite the absolute powerhouse internal specs we're going to see in a minute, this device is surprisingly sleek. The glass and polycarbonate frame is just 7.39 millimeters thick, and it only weighs 189 grams. You can grab it in tundra green, graphite black, or arc white. But really, it's that feather-light footprint that's just wild for a phone packing this much heat.
Now, what's really interesting about the design is this rear lighting system. Tecno calls it the Alive Matrix display. So it's not just some flat, boring back panel. It literally has 177 mini LED beads built right in, giving the phone a totally unique personality. With 49 custom scenarios, you're getting visual alerts that go way beyond a basic notification light. It genuinely brings the back of the device to life. Flipping over to the front, we hit a staggering number: 4,500 nits of peak brightness on a gorgeous 6.78-inch Hyperlux AMOLED screen. I mean, that is blindingly bright. It basically guarantees perfect, crystal-clear visibility even if you're standing right under the blazing 2026 summer sun.
So why do these next two specs matter so much when paired together? Well, a 144Hz refresh rate gives you incredibly fluid, buttery smooth scrolling and zero lag for gaming. But pairing that with 2592Hz high-frequency PWM dimming, that's the real game changer. It acts as essential eye care, preventing eye strain during those marathon gaming or binge-watching sessions. You get the blistering speed, absolutely, but you also get that crucial visual protection.
Moving on to Section 2, System Hardware and Performance.
Under the hood, we've got a fascinating dual-chip setup. It's powered by the octa-core 4nm MediaTek Dimensity 7400 Ultimate, but it also packs a dedicated P1 graphics processing chip. By completely offloading the heavy lifting of graphics to this P1 chip, the system keeps your frame rate sky-high without ever bottlenecking the main processor.
But you've got to wonder, right? How does a phone with this much raw power, dual chips, a 4nm architecture, actually stay cool? How does it literally not melt in your hand during an intense mobile gaming tournament?
Well, here's your answer. 5,000 square millimeters, that is the massive surface area of the internal vapor chamber thermal shield. It's a huge space hidden inside that ultra-thin chassis dedicated entirely to heat dissipation. In the real world, this means your phone stays ice cold and performs at peak levels, even under maximum sustained load.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the memory management keeps up. You start with either 8 or 12 gigs of fast physical RAM, but you can actually toggle on up to an additional 12 gigs of virtual RAM extension. That means you can push this thing to a staggering 24 gigs of total working memory. Paired up with either 256 or 512 gigabytes of lightning-fast UFS 3.1 storage, it'll juggle dozens of heavy apps without breaking a sweat.
Let's shift gears to Section 3, Camera and Audio Systems.
On the back, you're getting a rock-solid 50-megapixel Sony LYTS700C main sensor, complete with phase detection autofocus and optical image stabilization. Throw in the 8-megapixel ultra-wide and you've got perfectly steady 4K video. But the front camera, that's where it gets clever. It's a 13-megapixel wide lens, and they thoughtfully embedded a physical dual LED flash right into the top bezel, so no more relying on a blinding white screen just to take a selfie in a dark room. Okay, I gotta be honest, this next one put a huge smile on my face. Even with 24-bit wireless high-res audio and DTS-tuned dual stereo speakers, they actually kept the legacy 3.5mm headphone jack. Yep, in 2026, you can still plug in your favorite wired studio cans, no dongles required. Just a super rare and genuinely awesome surprise. All right, on to Section 4, Battery, Power, and Connectivity.
Just look at the sheer size of that number, 6,500 milliamp hours. We are talking about a giant, non-removable silicon-carbon battery. And it's not just a huge gas tank. It pairs that energy with 45-watt super-fast wired charging and built-in self-healing tech to keep the battery healthy for years. This is absolute, no-anxiety, multi-day endurance.
But honestly, this connectivity feature completely blew my mind. Tecno included something called offline tools. It's a long-range wireless voice and text network that operates completely independent of cellular towers. You can talk or text with someone up to 1,500 meters away. Think about that for a second. You're off the grid, hiking, or in an emergency where cell networks are totally down, and you can still reach out nearly a mile away. What an unbelievable safety net.
Let's move to our final stop, Section 5, Retail Box Contents. Take a look at this laundry list, because it is surprisingly generous. You get the smartphone, of course, but you also get the 45-watt super-fast wall charger right in the box, a Type-C cable, a protective TPU case, a pre-applied screen protector, the SIM tool, the manual, and a cloud storage card. When you compare that to the bare-bones boxes from other modern brands, where you're lucky to even get a charging brick, this is just a massive breath of fresh air.
So, the crucial point here is that 3-year free subscription card for 256 gigs of cloud storage. If you pick up the base model, which already has 256 gigs of fast UFS 3.1 storage, this card essentially doubles your capacity on day one. It's a huge, tangible value add right out of the gate.
Which leaves us with one final question to chew on. Do these massive specifications represent the ultimate standard for 2026 smartphones? We've looked at everything today, from a 6,500 mAh battery and dual graphics chips to totally off-grid communication and potentially 24 gigs of RAM. It's a ton to process, but it undeniably sets a staggeringly high bar for what a modern device should be. Thanks so much for joining me and diving into this today. Keep asking questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.